This is Namasturm Yoga. Join me for another live stream, full-length home yoga practice. So unroll your mat and let's go ahead and get started in a seated position. Easy crossed legs. Bring your hands to your knees. This is the way I typically start my classes. I think it's really great to kind of ground and center yourself before you begin your practice. So you can just bring your hands on your knees. Try to align your shoulders up over your hips. Back of the neck can be long, and then just close your eyes and drop in here. If you're new to my channel, well, welcome. This is Namasturm Yoga, and I'm Lorelei. I'm a certified yoga instructor, but I've been teaching out of my home for, I don't know, since 2020, when I guess we all started doing these sorts of things. This live stream practice, I've offered it as kind of a donation class if you would like to donate to support. The way to do that is in the description for this video. But I do have tons of other classes on my channel, and obviously it's YouTube, it's free for everyone. So that's just, you know, an encouragement, a suggestion. If you get value from taking class with me, I'd love for you to donate like $1 or $2, something like that. But if you're not able to, no problem. Just go ahead and join me. And we're gonna just sit for a minute. So I'll keep a little bit quiet so we can bring our awareness to our own, you know, inner selves and work on managing our own thoughts, not mine. We'll take a minute here in silence. And then on an inhale, reach the arms out and up. Bring your palms together. Exhale, drop the thumbs down in front of your heart. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Take just a quick moment here to set an intention for your practice tonight. And then let's move to hands and knees, setting up a tabletop so we can go into some cat-cows, beginning to warm up the spine. You can bring in your Ujjayi breathing practice here as well. Head and tail lift as chest and belly drop. Shoulder blades come together on the back. Exhale, letting everything round. Shoulder blades might pull apart as the tail and head tuck down. Back and forth. Find the flow of breath. And then try to let the movement of the body match or follow the flow of breath. We're going to just start to add on to our flow tonight. So if you've practiced with me before, you'll be familiar with this little sequence. But on your next exhale, go ahead and drop your hips to your heels and lengthen the arms out. So we're coming to child's pose. You can tap your forehead on the floor. And then inhale, bring yourself back up to cow pose. And then we're just going to go back and forth between cow and child's pose. So it's a little bit of a bigger movement than from cow to cat. But we want to stay connected to the same rhythm of breathing. And then we're going to add in downward facing dog. So instead of child's pose, next time, tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips and move the heart back. But then your inhale is going to bring the knees back to the floor. You're returning to cow. And then child's pose, so we'll alternate on exhales between child's pose and downward facing dog. Work at your own pace here. So if your breath is naturally a little slower or even a little faster than mine, then that's fine. Stay with your own rhythm. It doesn't really matter how many times we get through this sequence. We want to just stay connected to the flow as we warm up our body here. And then we're going to add in one more pose. So after your next down dog, instead of dropping your knees, bring the shoulders forward over the wrists, coming to plank. And then plank is going to transition to child's pose. So knees can come down and hips to heels. So the sequence then is inhale to cow. Exhale, each time will be to down dog from cow now. Inhale to plank. And then exhale to child's pose, and then beginning again. And we'll just take maybe 2 more rounds, but again, if you're going a little different pace than me, you might experience a different number, and that's fine. And then let's go ahead and end in child's pose. So the next time you find yourself in that pose, just let yourself hold, resting with the forehead on your mat and hips on your heels, breathing into the back body. And then from here, we're going to do just a little thread the needle twist. So create a little space under your right arm, slide the left arm beneath it, sliding until you're able to get your left shoulder and then your left ear down to the ground. You could keep your right arm out in front of you, like where it is right now, in child's pose position, or you could kind of slide it back so it's in front of your face, and then with the elbow over the wrist, just push down a little, and that can help to move your right shoulder back to deepen your twist. Not a big, huge twist here, but this should feel nice. And then take your right arm back out if you brought it in, and we're going to just reconfigure in the other direction. So left arm out, create some space under it, slide the right arm beneath, right ear and shoulder to the floor. Left hand can stay extended ahead, or bringing it back in front of your face, press down, elbow over wrist, shoulder leans back a bit. And then coming back through to center. Walk the hands out ahead of you. Spread your fingers wide. Root down with the palms of your hands. Lift the hips up just enough to tuck the toes under you. And then we're going to lift to down dog. But as you're doing this, press the hands down. Press the heart back as you lift your knees, and then let the hips rise. Head's gonna hang down, and once you're in down dog, take a little time to pedal out the feet, bending one knee, let the opposite leg straighten, and then switch to the other side. Okay. So I've gone into a lot of detail so far as we've moved through some really simple stuff. This is meant to be an intermediate level practice, and we'll move on from here, but I do like you know, in a class situation, to be able to give the instruction almost as just a reminder. When we practice on our own, sometimes we find our habits, but maybe it's helpful to try to get out of them a little bit. So sometimes a reminder can be helpful. And then from downward facing dog, root down with the hands. Let's take the right leg up, open the hip and bend the knee. So a little variation of down dog split here as the knee points towards the ceiling. Let the head hang heavy, shoulders stay level. And then looking forward, we're going to step the right foot all the way forward. So bringing it up between the hands, create space. If your foot gets stuck like midway, use your hand to help you. Bring it all the way forward. And then we're kind of in a runner's lunge here. So the back knee is lifted. We're going to reach the head forward and reach through the back heel. And you might even on the ball of the back foot kind of shift forward and back a little bit, stretching the foot, stretching the calf. Front knee stays over the ankle here the whole time. And then let's plant the left palm right inside the right foot and take the right arm up for an easy twist. Stack the shoulders, look towards your lifted thumb. And then turning back to the mat, plant both palms. We're going to step the right foot to join the left, coming into plank pose. So here, hips should be pretty level with shoulders, Back of the neck nice and long, strong through the center of your body. I do have a lot of minimal cues classes on my channel as well, or minimal cues practices really, because they're not so much a class as a led sequence, but if you like practices with very little talking, I can send you that way. As you can see, this isn't going to be one of those practices. Let's lower down. Take your knees to the floor first and then bend your elbows, lower your chest down between the hands. And then let's go ahead, take the hands behind the back and see if you can interlace your fingers, lift the shoulders, lift the chest, and then if it's feeling okay to you, also slightly lift the legs. Maybe the hands come up away from the hips as well. It should feel like a stretch for the front of the body. It's not like a deep back bend, but that is what we're doing. And then we're gonna come to Cobra. So you can unlace your fingers, plant your palms next to your chest, press down, lift up the upper body. Although we're still keeping the low body on the floor. So a lot of times in classes, I'll see people kind of hiking up their hips here, and then we lose a lot of the back bend. So it's much more like a diagonal. Even if you have to bend your elbows a lot, try to keep your legs and your hips on the floor so that we're getting the back bend in the upper back. It's not just about getting high, it's about curving in the back. And then from here, press the palms into the mat, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, and move to downward facing dog. I do teach one live in-person class still. I live in Chicago and it's at a gym in, kind of the northern end of Chicago, but right now really the only other place I teach is online. But yeah, so one in person, so it's kind of nice to remember what it's like to actually be able to look at students and see what they're doing. It's very helpful for me, I think. Okay, let's take the left leg up, open the hip and bend the knee, point that knee to the sky, twist the low body. We're gonna just do the same thing on the other side. Probably no surprise. And then look forward and step forward with that left foot. Knee over ankle. And then we're in our kind of our high runner's lunge on the ball of the back foot, reaching through the heel, heel over toes, back and forth just a little bit, working the calf, working the foot. And then we're going to move to the easy twist. So planting the right palm inside the left foot, take the left arm up, stack the shoulders. And then turning yourself back to the floor, we'll go ahead and plant the palms, step to plank, and then from plank, lowering down. Now maybe you want to lower down through Chaturanga Dandasana, which is like a low plank with the elbows bent. And then come all the way to the mat, extend the toes behind you, heel up for Cobra. Now if you want to come to up dog, this is where we do take the legs off of the floor, but we don't want the knees down either. We want just the tops of the feet down, and the hips are still really low. So the hips are almost as low or as close to the ground as the knees. Shoulders are back, heart is forward, so we're still rounding in the upper body, curving, creating a back bend. And then we can lift the hips and roll over the toes, flipping them around to come back to downward facing dog. So I teach probably 2 yoga classes a week. And then I also am a dietitian, and I have, in my past, I was an actor. And actually this is gonna be probably the last week of this live stream for a little while, because I wasn't an actor, and then all of a sudden I ended up finding some work here and there. So I'm gonna be having rehearsals on Monday nights for the next month or so. So I will hopefully get some classes recorded to post, but the live stream might have to be suspended for a time because my Monday nights are gonna be taken up. All right, let's walk the feet forward to the top of the mat. Come to a standing forward fold, feet about hip distance apart, soft knees, and then just let the upper body hang here. I know some of you have enjoyed kind of this full-length class, even with the talking and the instruction. And so although the videos that tend to do best on my channel are the minimal cues, if you've watched this one and you do like some of these instructed classes, let me know, because I can't post everything. Like, I wish I just had all the time in the world and was making all the money doing this.
But I would like to know if it's worth me continuing to offer some full-length classes with more detailed instruction. I will continue to post some minimal cues ones as well, but I'm trying to figure out what the right balance is here. Let your head just hang in this forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows, maybe sway a little from side to side. And then bending the knees a little more, let's roll up to standing.
Shoulders back. Okay, we're off to a bit of a slow start because I'm talking. But we're getting ready to go into our sun A's, and then we'll really kind of get moving from there and move into more standing poses, balance poses, that sort of thing. So walk your feet together, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Bring your palms together in front of the heart, engage your legs. Just tone up the muscles without locking the knees or clenching the glutes. Maybe pull your navel into your body, which is like our little abdominal lock, Uddiyana Bandha. See if you can hold that throughout your practice a bit. And then tune into the rhythm of your breathing. When you're ready to start the flow, first sun A. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the legs. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, the flat back. Exhale, step to plank and lower through Chaturanga, or you can take your knees down first if you need to modify. Inhale, cobra, or it could be up dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. And holding about 5 breaths here. We'll do several rounds of sun A, and if you prefer to move on and just take like 1 breath in your down dog and then keep flowing, that's totally fine. You can hold longer though if you prefer. Take this at your pace and follow the rate of your own breathing. When you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or you can lightly hop the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Exhale, palms together. And I have a feeling you all know this. So let's just go. We're going to do a few more. Follow your own breathing rhythm. Okay, let's take just one more round here, which may depend a little bit on where you are in the current cycle, but we're gonna meet in downward facing dog. So the next time you get to that point, just let yourself hold and breathe. And if you're arriving a little earlier and you're tired, you can always take knees to the floor and substitute a child's pose for your down dog. That's always a fine alternative. Otherwise, if you're in down dog, try to think of lengthening in the whole upper body as you inhale, and then deepening as you exhale. Now we're going to take the right leg into the air. Keep the hips square, keep the legs straight, keep the toes flexed toward the floor, creating a diagonal through the torso, all the way out through the leg. So it should feel like the arms and leg are kind of like in the same line. Now let's just bend the knee and bring the knee to the chest. Shoulders come forward over the wrists. Stabilize, hugging your leg up towards your body.
And then inhale, lift the leg up again. Exhale, let's step it forward and we're gonna come to crescent pose. So we were here with the legs before in our runner's lunge, but now we're gonna bring it to a high lunge, coming all the way up. Lunge into that front knee and then take the arms into the air. Now, standing on the right foot, let's step forward, pulling the left knee into the chest. So you're gonna come into balance. Bring your left knee in, stand on the right leg, steady forward, and holding onto that shin, maybe roll your right foot ankle around a little bit. Just giving that, or sorry, left. You're standing on the right, so you can move your left foot around. Just a little bit. And then we're gonna move to tree pose, vrikshasana. So use your hands to help you bring the sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh, staying in balance. If that foot won't hold above the knee, see if you can just take it below the knee to the calf. And then maybe the arms go up, or for a little more stability, you could have the palms together in front of the heart. Now we're going to step all the way open to a warrior two. So standing on the front foot, release the left foot from your right leg, bend the right knee as you step back as long as possible with the left foot, and then let the arms come down at shoulder height with the palms facing the floor. Front knee is bent deeply, look over the right fingertips. Make sure your front knee is over the ankle, so just check in with your alignment now that you've kind of gotten your feet grounded. And then on an inhale, reverse your warrior, and then we're going to straighten up the front leg and exhale into triangle pose, trikonasana. Sides of the torso stay long, limbs are long here as well. If you can, turn your head, look up to your lifted thumb. And then on an inhale, reverse, and exhale. Cartwheel hands to the mat. Travel through vinyasa to return to down dog. Second side, so we'll inhale the left leg up, square hip, down dog split. Knee to chest, shoulders move forward over the wrists. Inhale, down dog split, and exhale, step that left foot forward. We're coming to the high lunge again, crescent pose. So in crescent, the back heel stays lifted. That's sort of the difference between just this high lunge and warrior one, where the heel is down. We'll do that later, but for now, gaze forward, strong and steady. Lunge deeply into the front knee, but really try to straighten out that back leg. Now the transition is going to be into balance on the left foot. So almost like you're going to spring off that back foot, bring your knee up and hold onto your shin. Standing leg should be straight, and then if you want, you can kind of like point and flex or circle around your right ankle now, if that feels good. Keeping your upright balance. And then we're going to move to tree pose, vrikshasana. So sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh, if possible. And the toes should just be straight down from the heel. So the foot's not at an angle, the foot is vertical. Palms press or arms reach up. And then we're going to step back to warrior two. So do this with as much control as you can. So we don't want to fall into our poses, but rather bend your left knee. Reach behind you with the right foot so you can land the toes, land the heel. Let the arms land out at shoulder height. Look over the front fingers. Front knee over ankle. Steady with the breath. I do sometimes notice I give more instruction online than maybe in person because I don't know
what your body is doing. So I feel like I'm trying to cover all the bases of things that I have seen people do to make sure that there's some awareness of like, oh, okay, this is the cue that I need to adjust or be in this right spot. All right, let's reverse warrior. Just one inhale, stretch back, but then straighten the front leg, and let's come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Back of the hand, if possible, against the inner shin. There are other places you could put that hand, but I like this one because it can, if you press the back of the hand against the shin, it tends to help this top shoulder to open a little bit more. Like our body's connected. Sometimes we do one thing, it can help with something else. Sometimes we do one thing, it's hard to stabilize the other thing we want to stabilize. So sometimes we have to work with, sometimes we have to work against. I hopefully can try to let you know which is which. And then inhale, come on up, stretch back, and then hands are going to come to the floor for another vinyasa here. You can skip the vinyasas if you prefer and just go straight to down dog. That's up to you. All right, from down dog, let's inhale the right leg up and exhale, step it forward. This time we will take warrior one. So your back heel can pivot down. Let your upper body come up. With the back heel pivoting down, sometimes this is where we maybe have to work against our body. It's going to try to pull the left hip back. So we want to guide the left hip forward so that the hips stay level and square across the front of the mat. Take the arms up. You could also bring palms together and look up in this pose. Because we've got that back heel down, this is easier to balance doing this than it would be if we were in crescent where the heel was lifted. We'd feel more wobbly looking up like this. All right, and then we're gonna move into warrior three. So if you can keep your arms in the same relationship to your head, shoulders, and torso as they are now, great, keep them there. But we're gonna move all of our weight to the right foot and level out with the floor. So if those arms start to drop down, you could go ahead and just bring palms together in front of the heart instead. Now when we come out of warrior three, we're gonna step back to warrior two again. So bend the front knee, step back long, open warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, and then this time let's take extended side angle. So we'll keep the front knee bent, forearm to thigh, top arm overhead alongside the ear, creating a nice diagonal. On an inhale, reverse again, and then bringing your hands to the mat. We'll return to down dog through vinyasa if you'd like. Inhale the left leg up into the air. Exhale, step it forward. And beginning with our warrior one, front knee over ankle, hips squared, arms up alongside the ears, maybe palms together. Look up to the thumbs. And here's where we can shift towards warrior three. Transferring the weight, staying strong and in control, avoiding plants. Warrior three. And then when you're ready to step back, you'll open the body. So you'll step the foot so that the back arch lines up with the front heel, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, and then taking extended side angle this time. With the focus on that diagonal edge, foot, hip, shoulder, fingertips. Ideally, that's all in like a nice straight line. May not be perfect, but we're aiming for that. And then inhale, reverse again, and hands to the floor. Here's your vinyasa. Breathe in downward facing dog.
Now inhale, we'll take the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Warrior one again. Back heel comes down. Inhale, come on up. And then this time we're gonna move towards eagle pose. So we'll start with the arms, take them out, and then the left arm is gonna wrap under the right. Try to get the upper arms and then the lower arms as well. Lift the elbows up off the chest. And then lunging into that right knee, we're gonna transfer the weight to it again, but we're gonna keep the knee bent. Cross the left leg over the right for eagle, Garudasana. Sink the hips, lift the elbows up. Now from here, let's go ahead. We're going to keep everything wound, keeping the knees bent. We're going to bow down. So bringing the elbows towards the knees. And then standing split is going to be next. So with your body still bowed, unwind the arms, fingertips to the floor or mat. Unwind the left leg and shoot it up in the air. Fold your body towards the right. Standing split. And then stepping back long with the left toes. This time, let's go ahead and lower the left knee down, and we're gonna actually take a low lunge here. Make sure your front knee remains over the ankle and not like, if the foot were too far back, it would be beyond the ankle, and that's not great for the knee. So we want knee above ankle, sink the hips forward, arms come up, or you could interlace fingers and take the hands behind the head. This sometimes feels really nice. You can kind of cradle the head back, widen the elbows as you lift your chest. And then release the hands, fingertips to the floor. While we're here, let's take a short Ardha Hanumanasana, which is a half split. So we're gonna straighten the front leg, bring the hip over the back knee, and then pop onto your heel so the toes flex back towards you. And then gently fold over the right leg. Breathing here. The front knee is straight, but that doesn't mean we wanna lock it. So if you know you have a tendency to like hyperextend or like really push your kneecap in, see if you can soften the joint so that we're not relying on that to keep the leg straight. And then walk the hands a little forward, bring the right knee to join the left, lower, and this is modified vinyasa perhaps with knees on the ground, and down dog. And let's go right into the other side. So inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward between the hands, pivot the right heel down, warrior one. And from warrior one, we're gonna head in the direction of eagle. So arms come out. This time the right one's gonna wind under the left, lift the elbows up off your chest. And then when you're feeling ready, grounded, stable on that left foot, transfer your weight, cross the right leg over, thighs cross, maybe calves cross, that's optional for sure. Lift the elbows, sink the hips. And then slowly folding down, bring the elbows towards the knees. Do your best to keep your balance. Center of gravity lowers here, so it should be easier to stabilize, but sometimes the floor looks like, oh my gosh, I gotta touch that floor. We will. When you're ready, unwind the arms, and keeping the left knee bent to get the fingertips to the floor, now unwind the right leg, and then reach it up behind you and straighten your standing leg for standing split. Step back long with the right foot, lower the right knee, come to your low lunge, arms up, sink the hips, and then hands behind head, elbows can go a little wide. Or any other arm variation that you prefer. If this is a challenge for you, you can even work with the hands just right on that front thigh to support yourself here.
Okay, and then fingertips are gonna come in, like align with your toes. Start to straighten the left leg. Move the hips over the back knee, but we don't want the hips so far back that they're over the back heel. Pop onto the left heel. Flex the foot back and fold. Ardha Hanumanasana or half split. All right, and then we're gonna move back to down dog. So take your vinyasa, knee back, heart down, cobra or up dog, and downward facing dog. Okay, take a couple of resting breaths in down dog. On an inhale, look forward. As you exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. Half lift, fold Uttanasana. Bend the knees for Utkatasana, chair pose. So feet together, knees side by side. Let the weight sink onto your heels. And then we're gonna take this to a twist to the right. So left elbow outside of the right leg. Let the palms press as you turn your heart. And then standing on the right foot, we're gonna shoot the left foot to the back of the mat. High lunge, twist. Let the arms fly open here. Left arm outside the right leg. Coming up, reach all the way back. So keep your twist, but bring the torso up. See if you can get your right hand to reach all the way back to the left thigh. Lunging into the front knee, top arm can reach overhead. Perhaps look to your back heel. And then from here, keeping the facing of your body, we're gonna plant the left palm down inside of the right foot. Stack the shoulders. We're in an easy twist. We're preparing for side plank on the left. Option, if you want to take the tree pose version where you bring the sole of the foot to the thigh, you would grab hold of your right foot with your right hand and move it to the upper inner thigh. Push the leg up into the foot as you lift. And if this isn't for you, that's fine. Just take a classic version or a modified version of side plank. And then look to the floor. Take a vinyasa. Returning to down dog, in and out through the nose. It's hard for me, I'm talking, so I'm never exhaling through my nose. It's always through my mouth as I'm speaking. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or lightly hop the feet. Half lift. Fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees for Utkatasana, chair, and we're gonna take this on the other side. Let's just take a couple extra breaths here in chair. Working these quads, yeah. This is where this becomes weight-bearing exercise, and we're putting more work on the muscles than they take in just everyday life. Now let's twist to the right, or to the left, sorry. So right arm outside of the left leg, press the palms and turn your torso. Now standing on that left foot, we can send the right one to the back of the mat for a twist in the other direction. And then once you're there, see if you can let the arms open, right arm outside the left leg. Coming up, keep your twist, reach it all back, keep lunging forward. Find your, it's basically a revolve reverse warrior. And then right hand's gonna come down. Left arm up, and really what we want here, if we're gonna go to classic version, we wanna keep that arm in the air and stabilize through the shoulders. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot for side plank, but if you wanna help with your foot, you'll have to take that left hand down,
Use that to pick up the left foot, bring the sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh, and then push the leg up into the foot. So we get some lift here. And then turn to the floor and take your vinyasa. All right, well, I'm warm. I don't know about you, but we've been about a half an hour in standing pose sequences, so including, well, sunays. When you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold Uttanasana. And then let's take chair pose again to come out of this sequence. And then straighten the legs, come to standing. We're going to step out wide for Prasarita Padottanasana. So parallel feet, about a leg length apart. Hands to your waist. And let's fold on down. Forehead towards the floor. For most of us, it's not going to actually reach the floor. For some of you, it might. Hands come to the floor, though. You can place them between the feet, or if it's just your fingertips on the floor, try to line them up with your toes. Shift your weight forward toward the balls of the feet. Lift the quads, open the backs of the legs, and allow your upper body to just hang down. If your head is on the floor and you feel it would be safe and you're so inclined, you can float your legs up into a tripod headstand. I'm not going to do that tonight because my back and neck are giving me a little trouble. I do like it, but be safe. Listen to what your body wants. That's always the key. All right, and then if your legs are in the air, you'll need to float them back down at some point, so maybe this is the point. Let's go ahead and take the left hand over to the right shin. Grab on, and then take the right arm up for a really nice twist here. Turn your body open. You're like pulling on your right leg to give yourself a little bit of torque here. Don't hurt yourself, but you can encourage it. All right, and then we're going to take the fingers over by that right foot, and we're just going to start to pivot the right toes towards whatever end of the mat they're nearest. Step the back foot in a little bit closer and turn the toes just out slightly, but those are almost pointing in the same direction, and we're taking pyramid here. I guess I could have said that. Some of you probably figured that out before I got to the direction. Fold over the right leg. Now, we'll take a revolved triangle here, but I always encourage taking a little lift first. So lengthening the spine, reaching the head out away from the tail, then planting the left hand and taking the right arm up. Keep the back heel anchored. And then hands back to the mat. And listen, if you want, you can take another vinyasa here, stepping the feet back from plank. Make your way to down dog. Take a couple little breaths. We're really working with a lot of the basics today. So although, you can make an intermediate or advanced class out of basics. We're not throwing any wild, crazy challenges in tonight, but I hope this practice is still feeling okay, feeling like you're still getting, your money's worth, which is free. So hopefully you're at least getting that. Unless you choose to donate, in which case the way to do that is in the description for this video. My Venmo username is Namasturm, unsurprisingly. And then maybe you're hoping for more. But if you did get the value, well, heck, that'd be great to know. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step walk or hop the feet forward. Take a half lift. Fold Uttanasana. Let's just reverse swan dive. So root down with those feet to rise up, come back to standing. And then let's step out wide. We're going to do a second variation of Prasarita here. So interlace the fingers behind the back if you can, shoulders back, and we'll take a nice wide-legged forward fold here. Reach the arms overhead. Otherwise, just keep the shoulders on the back, shift the weight forward toward the balls of the feet. Let your head hang down. The leg action is the same here as in the other version, but we get to add in this arm bit that gives us a nice shoulder stretch. Now, keeping your body folded down, bring your hands back to your waist, let go of your fingers. Now the right hand's gonna come to the outer left shin. Hang on and lift your left arm up. Twist your body. And then turning your attention to your left leg, the hands are gonna come up by that end of the mat. Pivot, so your left toes are pointing towards the short end, and then step your right foot a little forward, a little to the side, so that hips are pretty level here. Fold pyramid pose. You can check out your hip levelness with one of your hands if you need to on your tailbone. Okay, and then lifting partway up to try to lengthen the spine before moving into revolve triangle. Then the right hand is going to come down, and now the left one reaches into the air. All right, and then hands back to the mat. Step back to plank, and this time let's just lower all the way to the ground. So step to plank and lower instead of coming through a vinyasa. We're just gonna bring our bellies down, and let's take a bow pose here. So Dhanurasana for a back bend. Bend the knees, reach back with the hands for the feet. Try not to let the knees go wide here, so you might need to scooch them in a little. If you can do that and then reach the ankles, sometimes it feels nice to flex the feet kind of hard here. But if you can't reach the ankles, just hold the feet, pull your shoulder blades onto your back, press your pelvis down into the mat, and then pull up and away. Find your back bend. This is a product of tension. There does need to be tension in the arms with the legs pulling back so that we're getting a stretch across our chest and shoulders. And then when you're ready to let yourself come down, slowly, gently, easily, bring your hands in front of you and just drop your forehead to your hands as you let the legs extend. Couple quick breaths. And then we'll do one more. I know some people don't like bow pose. If you need to take another back bend, that's fine. But one that you could take would be maybe Sphinx or even Cobra pose. Those are nice back bends that are on your stomach, but they're maybe a little bit less intense. If you're having any pinching in your low back, absolutely opt out of this. That's not what should be happening here. When you're ready, bend the knees, reach back if you're taking the bow, and find your way into it. And let it go. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, hands next to chest, lift up cobra, and let's take downward facing dog. And we're gonna make it a narrow one, meaning walk the feet a little closer to the hands than they usually would be. And take the left hand over to the right leg. This is kind of like what we just did in our prostrata before, but you're gonna pull on the leg to twist your torso under your arm. And then switch directions, left hand down. The right hand's gonna come over to the left leg and pull through a little bit here. All right, walk the feet back. Take the right leg up, open the hip, bend the knee, point the knee to the sky. We're gonna set up for a pigeon stretch here, so getting into a nice hip opener. Bring your right knee forward behind the right wrist, shin across the mat. Once your knee comes down, that's not where you go. Use the toes to walk the knee and the leg further back, so you're on the top of your thigh, on the outer edge of the right shin. The right hip should have some space underneath it. And then we're gonna fold down over the shin here. Forearms to the floor. Eventually you might be able to sink further, getting the head to the floor or walking the arms out a little bit. Okay, take your time coming up out of your stretch. We're not going to change the legs just yet, but we are going to do a little quad stretch for the left leg. So use your hands to support yourself coming up, shoulders like pulling back a little, and then when you're ready, you can go ahead and bend the left leg behind you and reach your left hand back for the foot, and then move the heel in towards the hip. Variations could include, maybe you bring your right hand to your right thigh to lift up a little higher. Maybe you flip your left hand around so that fingers and toe, like the fingers are on top of the foot, and then push your heel towards your hip with the elbow coming into the air. If that doesn't make any sense to you, your body may not be able to get that far, and that's okay too. You could also come to mermaid pose here, so maybe working towards balance and then maybe bringing the fingers to meet behind with the left foot in the left elbow crook. And then when you're ready to release, hands back to the mat, and let's return to down dog and take a second to shake out the right leg or kick through the heel a little bit just to release any tension that might be in there, and then we'll go to the other side. So left leg up, open the hip and bend the knee, point the knee to the sky, and then bring the knee forward. Set it up behind the left wrist. And remember, the right knee is going to come down, but if we were to try to fold here, it would be kind of like really awkward. So make sure to use your toes to extend the leg further back behind you. So you're on the top of the thigh, not just the knee. And then fold down over the shin. All right, so coming up slowly, walk the hands in to bring yourself upright for just a moment, getting kind of the puff in the chest of like a pigeon here. And then we're gonna move towards our quad stretch. So bending the right knee, find your foot, draw the heel in. Any variation you did on the first side. So maybe you're bringing yourself up a little higher, maybe you're practicing balance, maybe you're finding ways to move the heel in closer to your hip. Maybe mermaid pose, up to you, but try to do the same thing on the second side.
And then when you're ready, let's let that go. Hands to the mat, return to down dog. Shake out the leg a little here. Okay, walk the feet to about the middle of the mat, turn the toes out, drop the hips down, come to a squat, malasana, elbows inside knees, press the palms. So you could stay here, or I'm going to suggest like a quick crow pose. We didn't do an inversion tonight, so if you're really feeling like desirous for one of those, you could take crow to tripod headstand, going in and out. So for those of you who feel confident doing that, that's fine. I'm just going to talk to crow today. So bringing upper arms underneath shins, palms come to the mat, shift your weight forward a little bit. So you're going to have to come off your heels and bring your center of gravity over your wrists, and then see if you can just flick the toes off the ground and hold for a few breaths. And then when you're ready to come back to earth, feet down, let's take Padahastasana. So one at a time, slide the hands under the feet until the toes meet the wrists. Wiggle the toes to massage the wrists a little. Knees can stay bent, or if you're feeling like you're ready for a nicer hamstring stretch, you can start to straighten them. Drop your head down, shoulder blades onto your back here. And then slowly, carefully taking the hands out from underneath the feet. All right, let's drop it all the way back down to the mat. Feet together, knees wide, Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Hips to heels or heels to hips, whichever way you want to slide. And then just leaning forward, let the knees drop down here. This is mostly the work of gravity. You can give a little encouragement, but don't try to force a stretch that your body's not ready for. Kind of got to go a little bit slow, a little bit. It's like letting your body move when it's ready. So we're there to give it encouragement when it's ready, but we're not trying to push past resistance, because that would just either creates more resistance or creates pain, which we don't want that. All right, and then coming up, we're coming into the forward folding portion of our evening. Take the right leg out, keep the left foot in, tucked towards the upper inner thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, folding down. So forward folds are actually designed to be kind of calming for our nervous system. Unlike back bends, which are like designed to be a little bit stimulating for our nervous system, we want to do both at different times, but at the end of our practice, it is kind of nice to let ourselves calm down. So I encourage you to have that mindset as well. We do have a little bit of toning in the leg. The quad is toned, the foot is flexed, but the underside of the leg is relaxed, and the upper body should be pretty relaxed too. We're leaning in to encourage the stretch, but we're not trying to pull or force or strain to catch our toes or anything like that. We can just soften, breathing in and out, and try to allow ourselves to give in to some calm and some ease here. And then take your time as you come back up out of that stretch, and we are just going to switch to the other side. So left leg out, sole of the right foot in, little toning of the quad, little flex of the foot, a little angling of the body. Inhale up, and then exhale. Let yourself go and enjoy 10, 12 breaths here.
And coming up easy.
All right, well, take your legs out, shake your legs out, and let's move to the floor. So time for Shavasana. Lower your body down, and once you get down to the mat, you might take a moment to bring your knees into your chest and maybe roll them around in a circle so you can massage the low back or rock from side to side. If it would feel good to take a little supine twist here, you can do that. I give you permission to do what's going to feel good to you. Of course, you always have permission. You're in your own home. You can do however you like. But finding your way to release and then come to your mat into corpse pose. I'm going to come back up just because I will close this practice with you from a seated position. And if you prefer to sit for a short time, you can do that as well. But otherwise, if you're on the mat, go ahead and just maybe tuck your shoulder blades underneath your upper back. Let the arms come out slightly away from your body with the palms up. Make sure the back of your head is comfortably resting on the back of the mat and that you're not like having it skewed to one side or anything like that. Close your eyes. You can relax your breath here, so no more need of the ujjayi. Just let it fall in and out naturally, and then completely let go of the weight of the body. Just give it up, release your effort, and enjoy a few minutes here in stillness. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me again today and sharing this practice. Namaste. And as you drift off into your Shavasana, I just want to thank you again. Obviously you kind of know if this is something that you like. I hope you'll join me again on this YouTube channel here. Anything you need should be in the description for the video, and feel free to leave comments or questions below as well. Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.